Welcome guys back to another video in the channel. We are doing another episode of Arsenal Transfer News Daily, and we've got some huge pieces of news as two crucial players of our squad have been offered new contracts, and it'll be interesting to see whether they accept. I've also got some updates on Willian, as Arsenal are beginning talks and apparently in advanced talks to sign Willian after he was left out of the FA Cup final. Also, we have news on Arteta trying to rebuild the squad. In order to do that, he needs to have a huge squad to sell out, which we'll be talking about. But first of all, we'll be starting with Martinez. He has been a star in our side, and he has filled the boots of Leno with ease. You know, he's done it so well. And Arsenal apparently offered a new contract to Martinez. Arsenal tried to sign Martinez to a new contract after his success in the FA Cup, but the goalkeeper doesn't want to return to the bench afterwards. After a fairy tale couple of months for Arsenal goalkeeper Martinez, the club are looking to tie him down to a new contract. The 27-year-old's current deal expires in 2022, and the Times report the Gunners are keen to keep him for longer. He started the season as a backup, but solely featured in the Europa League and the Cups. However, following Bert Leno's injury, he finally got a run in the Premier League, impressing fans, also the FA Cup. The Times claim Arsenal accelerating their efforts to tie him down to a new deal. His current contract lasts until 2022, so now is probably the best time to extend the deal or sell him. Martinez is making it clear that he doesn't want to return being a backup though. The end of the season went without his dramas because Leno wasn't fit to play anyway, but then because Leno is back to his injury, they'll compete for each other's spots, and next season, if the Argentine goalkeeper feels he's heading for another run of years on the bench, you can hardly blame him for taking the chance to move on. So it's up to Mikel Arteta to decide whether he wants Martinez to start and to convince him or sign whether he does. So yeah, could either convince him or sell him. That's the dilemma we are facing now. This goalkeeper dilemma is such a hard one because Martinez has been excellent over the last few months, but we can't take away how good Leno has been. Yes, he's had one or two mistakes. Yes, he can be a tiny bit shaky going out from the back, something Martinez has really excelled at because he looks so comfortable with his feet. But you know, it's going to be so interesting what happens. But I think the good thing is now we've got the Europa League, so there's more games now to rotate the goalkeepers. And for me, I just don't see Martinez, you know, coming out the side. I think Leno now has to earn back his plays, and that's through the Europa League now. Simple as that. Martinez has to be our number one goalkeeper because he's such a quality goalkeeper. I think he could walk into pretty much any Premier League team at the moment. He could walk into like Leicester's team. He could walk into any Premier League team, in my opinion. So there will be clubs looking after him. Even Chelsea, to be honest. Even Chelsea. He's better than Kepa. He's much better than Kepa. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens with the goalkeeper situation. That is the news that Martinez has been offered a new contract at Arsenal. The next player that has reportedly offered a contract is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Now, he has been offered a new contract as FA Cup hero is offered an Arsenal challenge. The Arsenal captain, who has less than 1 year left on his contract, scored both goals in the FA Cup final win over Chelsea to underline his importance to Mikel Arteta's side. Mikel Arteta has challenged Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to commit himself to the club and become one of Arsenal's all-time strikers. Arsenal now begin serious negotiations, and now they know their spending power, with Aubameyang wanting a 3-year deal worth £250,000 a week, and the club are ready to make a financial push to keep him. Gunners boss Arteta believes he has sold his vision for the future to Aubameyang, and now is down to the club to find the right deal, and getting into Europe will make a huge difference in being able to afford it. But Arteta also believes the 31-year-old Aubameyang can become one of Arsenal's greats after his FA Cup final heroics in the traditions of Thierry Henry, Ian Wright and Dennis Bergkamp, and more recently the likes of Van Persie and Alexis Sanchez. Arteta said, "We always had great, incredible strikers at this club, and Oba deserves to be named and compared with the big names. Obviously, his FA Cup final performance establishes that, even his semi-final performance." Mikel Arteta always said, by winning trophies, he'll be closer to that the longer he stays there. Hopefully, we can have him for longer. The biggest problem was to convince him to work the way he was working. He was going to be more reward and more respect, and our respect will go to admiration from his teammates and the people who have been with him, and also from the fans. It is a bit confusing understanding what Mikel Arteta was saying, but he also gone on to say that goal scoring is the most difficult thing in football. He makes it look so simple. Aubameyang currently earns £180,000 a week, and his contract expires next month, but the contract also includes a 12-month extension clause which must be triggered by December 31st, which will see his wages go up significantly, and with a bonus, and will cost the club around £20 million for one season. Arsenal want to give him a completely new deal to remove that financial penalty, but Aubameyang knows he's in a strong bargaining position. It is no means certain he'll stay despite Arteta's overwhelming confidence, as the finances will be difficult, and Barcelona, Inter Milan and other clubs are looking, but his age means there'll be no sell-on value, so his options are a bit limited, obviously with the crisis of pandemic as well. Now it is the club's job to prove the ambitions to Aubameyang so he can commit his future. Obviously we'll be doing that to try and boost our funds to try sign the big name players like Thomas Partey, and we can raise our bank by setting the likes of Matteo Guendouzi and others as well, and offload obviously the likes of Mesut Ozil to free up his wages to use that in Aubameyang's contract negotiations as well. So that is the news on Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I know this is a bit complicated to hear this story, but Arteta is basically confident in that he will stay, but obviously it's very interesting to see what's going to happen with this. I really want Aubameyang to stay, you guys know that. So that is the news that Arsenal have offered a £250,000 contract to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Now the next piece of news is Arteta is reportedly putting 9 players up for sale, including Hector Bellerin. Arteta is prepared to sell 9 players in a bid to raise transfer funds, reports say. The Arsenal boss has planned a major rebuild of his squad this summer, but the club's finances has taken a serious hit during the pandemic. Arteta must sell to go after his top targets, and the Daily Mail claimed the head coach has earmarked 9 players he'd be willing to let go this summer. Hector Bellerin and Alexandre Lacazette head the long list of potential departures, with Socrates, Guendouzi, Torreira, Mkhitaryan, Kolasinac, Mustafi and Holding also in that list. Arsenal could hope for the big sums for right back Bellerin and striker Lacazette, and the club will accept any sizable bids that come in for the duo. Bellerin has been long linked with a return to Spain, while Lacazette has also been tipped to leave the club after coming in and out of the side this season. Juventus are interested in Lacazette. Arteta would also like to offload Ozil, but the German's agent has already insisted Arsenal's top earner is not going anywhere. We have reported on this in previous episodes. Arsenal have drawn up a long list of targets, but Arteta is keen to land his top targets, which includes Atletico midfielder Thomas Partey. The Gunners are also in talks with former Liverpool star Philippe Coutinho and have a long-standing interest in Chelsea forward Willian, which we'll be looking at in a second. A new centre-back is also high on Arteta's wish list, and the club are keen to agree another loan deal for Real Madrid star Dani Ceballos. That is the news that Arsenal or Arteta will be looking to sell 9 players in order to finance a move for likes of Thomas Partey and Philippe Coutinho. I think this makes sense. I think our squad needs an overhaul, and I'm very happy about this news, and hopefully we can try and get some of these players off. Again, because of this pandemic, it's going to be hard to do so because of these players having high wages, and they only do have a year left in their contract, so I think they'll probably be trying to see it out. Again, it'll be interesting to see what Arsenal actually do with this and whether they can use it in swap deals for other players. That would also be interesting. You know, Guendouzi has been linked with swap deals, so has Torreira, so has Alexandre Lacazette, especially in a bid to sign Thomas Partey. So yeah, that is the news that Arsenal or Arteta is willing to put up 9 players up for sale in order to fund transfers. Now this next piece of news is a big one, and it is of Willian of Chelsea. Now for this news, we have got Fabrizio Romano's tweet to look at, and he has said that Willian has refused another bid from Chelsea to extend his contract until June 2022. Still no agreement. Arsenal are now in talks with his representatives to sign him as a free agent. No bids from Barcelona at the moment. Now this is what Fabrizio Romano said when asked about Willian. Now Willian, apparently Chelsea did offer him a 2-year contract, but Willian wants a 3-year contract. We have reported this before. Arsenal are now in talks and said to be in advanced talks now for Willian. Other reports are suggesting advanced talks, but Fabrizio Romano is just saying talks. Again, I think this deal could be wrapped up in the next week. Obviously, Kia Joorabchian is the agent, so personal terms, especially with his agent, shouldn't be taking that long, considering obviously David Luiz signed from Chelsea on deadline day, so the talks and were done really quickly because of deadline day. So I think there's only a contract to sort out. You know, Arsenal don't have to speak to Chelsea, they just have to speak to Willian and his agent. Obviously they know so well, so I think Arsenal could get this done very, very quickly, and I think Willian could become our first signing of the summer. Now Chelsea, obviously they really want to keep him. He didn't play in the FA Cup final, so again, but did he play in the FA Cup? Did he not play in the FA Cup final because of injury, or did he not play because he could have been joining Arsenal? So there could have been a bit of bias then, who knows. But Frank Lampard did say it was because of injury, but it did to me seem that he was quite fit to play. But again, I can't really say much, I'm not an insider of Chelsea. But that is the news that Willian could be signing for Arsenal, and this could be done possibly in the next week. I won't go into obviously too much detail about Willian because we've talked about Willian so much, but this is just an update saying that Arsenal are officially now in talks with Willian, and this could be done, as I said, in the coming days, in the coming weeks. I think this will be one of our first signings. Next piece of news comes in another form of departure, and we did talk about the major clear out Mikel Arteta wanted to do, and one of the people on the list was Matteo Guendouzi, and Arsenal reportedly set a 40 million transfer fee for bad boy Matteo Guendouzi, with Juventus and Barcelona keen. Arsenal pays the 40 million price tag on Matteo Guendouzi, both Juventus and Barcelona keen on the move. He has been training away from the first team, falling out with Mikel Arteta last month. Thierry Guendouzi was involved in a scuffle with Mope following the Gunners' 2-1 defeat to Brighton on June 20th. He has since failed to make a matchday squad and missed out on Saturday's FA Cup final win over Chelsea. He didn't congratulate the side, and Arteta desperately wants to raise funds to help his Arsenal squad overhaul and is ready to flog the Frenchman. That's according to the Times, and that Arsenal want £40 million for the 21-year-old. Reports emerged last month that new camp Chiefs have already opened talks with the Stars representatives over a potential contract. Now it seems they face competition for his signature from Italy. Serie A champions Juventus have not also joined the chase for Guendouzi's services, and the Independent claim the Gunners have approached Juve of a possible swap deal. It remains unclear which player Arteta would like to bring in London in exchange. However, he could straddle a similar deal with Barcelona. He is keen to bring back Philippe Coutinho to the Premier League. Arsenal are believed to have already approached Barca over the signing of the Brazilian, and obviously Kia Joorabchian is the agent, so that wouldn't be too hard to do personal terms. It remains a possibility that Guendouzi may be offered as part of a package to get Coutinho to the Emirates. So that is the reports that suggest that Guendouzi could be worth up to £40 million. Now, going back to Thomas Partey, because that is the player we do want to bring in, there were reports that we did offer Matteo Guendouzi. Now, if Arsenal rate him at £40 million, why would they add another £25 million on top of that? Which makes me think that Arsenal did not offer Guendouzi in part of the Thomas Partey deal. They probably offered someone like El Neni or Mkhitaryan, which is pretty crazy in my opinion, but it could be a real possibility that happened. Now, Matteo Guendouzi, I think the best way to try and get Thomas Partey is sell Guendouzi separately, probably to a Barcelona, or try sell him to a Juventus and then try use that money to try and fund a deal for Thomas Partey, which seems the most likely thing to do, and try and trigger his release clause. Matteo Guendouzi obviously fell out with Mikel Arteta in Dubai, and fell out again after the scuffle with Mope back when the league started again. So it looks like Guendouzi will be out of the door this summer, especially after he's failed to make a matchday squad since that Brighton problem, and it does look like Mikel Arteta really doesn't want him. So that is pretty obvious now, and it will be interesting to see which clubs do want to come in for him. He is a very talented player, but his attitude problems could pose a problem, maybe, possibly, but teams like Barcelona and Juventus don't really care about that in my opinion. They already have such superstars at their clubs, so that kind of problem just doesn't be a problem for them. If it's a problem for us, doesn't mean it's a problem for them. That's one of the things that could be a possibility for Barcelona or Juventus. So that is the news on Matteo Guendouzi, and he has a possible price tag of £40 million. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I know this has been a long one. There has been a lot of news to report on. Hopefully you have enjoyed this episode of Arsenal Transfer News Daily. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Please leave a like, subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.